is Sara Coelho-Robinson. This is episode 50. We're in a different place. As you can tell, this is my back porch. It's early in the morning. It's the 27th of May, which is a Monday, but it's a holiday here. We had a storm last night. Effie was freaking out, of course. And so the air is a little cooler. Usually it's already really hot this time of day, but it's just warm enough that I need to wear a t-shirt. And sort of for that reason, and because it's a little cloudy, so the daylight in the attic is not very good at this time of day. I usually prefer to film there in the afternoon when I have better light on that side of the house. But with the temperature and the light quality, I thought it would be better to film out here. So the sound is a little different. I'm wearing my headphones because they have a little microphone, so I hope that you guys can hear me okay. Other sounds you may hear is helicopters, the highway that is 3 blocks away. 3 blocks? I think 3 blocks. The air conditioning, when it kicks in, the machine is not too far from us. And the birds, and maybe some cicadas. The cicadas are going wild, and they're everywhere. It's crazy. But I think they're starting to calm down a little. Maybe. We'll see. So, today, I have one finished object, 2 things I'm wearing, 2 whips, and then some things to cast on. Well, 3-ish whips. So today I have, I'm switching tabs here. I have the Love Note by tincanknits. This is the BC Garn Tussah Tweed, which is 100% silk. And this is a yarn that was gifted to me by my friend Jane Olsen, who is on episode 3. And it's mostly a dark wineish color, very dry, with some speckles of green, some speckles of orange, and because the Love Note has lace up until basically my bust size, but widest bust dimension, circumference, I have to wear a top under it or a bra that is like very close to my skin tone, so you can't really notice, at least at first sight. Now if you're looking you'll see it, but you know. And then for my feet, which I don't know if you can see on camera, I have the Vanilla Splash socks, which are my own sock pattern. They have a corrugated ribbing for the ankle, and corrugated ribbing is ribbing that is made in 2 different colors, a contrast color and then the main color used for the sock. The contrast color that I have was again gifted by Jane Olsen. She gifted me this little bag filled with like 10 grams of sock yarn leftover she had, and so I used that for that. And then for the main yarn, that's a Knit Picks Hawthorne, what is it called? Fingering Speckle. That's, I guess, the name of it. And it's a white with some speckles in bright orange, yellow, and like a greenish blue. And that's it. For this, the corrugated ribbing, it's a ribbing for colorwork. Usually colorwork tends to be tighter than your normal fabric. Corrugated ribbing is the opposite. Hurry up. And we're at some point going to hear the garage gate, so I will stop the sound. Corrugated ribbing. Joseph is going to work out and I got distracted with him leaving. Corrugated ribbing is a little wider instead of narrower for a circumference. So that's just something, you know, that I suggest that people try. Hurry up! What was I saying? Yes, so as with any of my patterns, I suggest that you keep trying, making sure that you like the fit, instead of, you know, finding out 20 rows down that maybe you should have switched to a different needle or something. So that's just something I keep in my patterns. Just try it out, see if you like it, and then keep going. Okay, and I think that's all I have to say about this, except with this one, the ribbing on top, you don't start with that. You start with a provisional cast on further down. I did not like that. I did not need to do a provisional cast on. I was going to do the ribbing right above it anyway. So next time I do one of these, which I won't be doing many because I like to do t-shirts where I don't have to wear a top under it. So yeah, I would have to probably just do the first repeat of the lace and not do the rest of it, because otherwise I'm always going to wear something under it. But this used, I think, less than 400 yards, so less than 100 grams, which is great. Alright, so FOs. This is the Out of Sorts. It's a little different from the original model, if you look that up. And it is made with 3 different yarns. The main color, or I guess, did I call it the main color? I don't know what I called it. Because I'm also changing the colors, but you can see my other videos for that, so I don't have to dwell into that. Delve. I don't have to delve into that. So the really colorful one is the Schoppel-Wolle Zauberball 100 2250 Jacke Rose. Then this like beigey brownie is Knitpicks Palette 25541 Oregon Coast Heather. And then this one that I just use here and here, I had thought about doing embroidering across the chest, but I decided not to. I've been wearing it like this, and I like it that way. So that pink is Emma's Yarn Practically Perfect Sock in Tang. Changes I made were, other than the colors, shorter sleeves, tapered body, and then really long ribbing. And that's it. You cannot sort of tell where the beginning of round is, mostly because this colorful yarn does a good job breaking it up, except here, somewhere here. Where was it? Oh, here. In this area, you can sort of tell because there's such high contrast. But it's right down here, that's the beginning and end of round is center back. Yep, I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, and now my other projects. Now this one is sort of on hold, although when I pulled it out minutes ago to my Portuguese one, I found out that I was not done binding off one sleeve. I must have gone to bed and then totally forgot I still had these stitches to do. But I'll try it on just for a few minutes. It's definitely long enough in the body. It's definitely long enough on the sleeves. But long sleeves like this, they let the cold air in when it's like windy and such, or even not windy if it's cold. So longer sleeve is not a bad idea. Now I'm still going to stretch this out when I block it to make sure that the color work stays flat. It doesn't like bulge in some places. I liked all of this yarn. It's all Portuguese yarn, 2 different brands, and one of them then was, the yarn is Portuguese, but it was dyed by Aimée. It was like a what do you call it? It was a collaboration. That's what it was. A collaboration between Aimée and Retrosaria Pegulhal. So I'll put all the yarns below. I've said them in all the videos before, so I don't really feel the need of doing that again. Interesting. I made a mistake, and I can really tell. See there? Very interesting. Looks like I knit 1.5 rounds, and then I was like, oh, I guess this is the beginning of rounds. No. So what I have left besides this is there's a collar piece, like a sash in a way, that goes down, up and around the neck and further down. It's made with this collar, but they only have like 50 grams left. So I asked my parents to see if they go by the store and they can get me 2 more skeins and then just give me when I see them this summer. I can knit, like get back to this project. If they can't, then I'll just order it online. But I didn't want to like pay for shipping, you know. Yeah, and I think that's it for this one. You can tell like I had to go up for the length that I wanted. I had to go up 2 sizes for the body, but you can tell looking at the sleeve that each one of these is a size, and I could have gone without 1, maybe even without 2. So I think that looking back, if I had realized how long it was going to be, I would have just gone up 1 size for the sleeves, 2 sizes for the body, and then I'll have a little more left over of this main color. Yeah. I feel like I'm definitely a little allergic to something here. I don't know if it has just too much lanolin as of right now, before it's like, you know, fully done and blocked, or if maybe it has some vegetable matter that I'm allergic to. Doesn't bother me too much, but I can just tell, like in my throat, it's just a little bothersome. Shove that in there. Okay, and now I have one more knitting whip. This is a sort of switch on the Baltian by Caitlin Hunter. You might remember the super colorful yarn I showed you last time. It's both of these yarns. This one is a Bubble Bubble by Moondrake, and the color is Juicy Fruits, and that color I think can only be bought when it comes together with the silk mohair. And it is 100% superwash merino, which is why it's able to keep all these bright colors. And it's like curly-ish, like crimped in a way, and then it has these like little bubbles there. And then this one, it may look white, I don't know if on video it will show, but it has some greens and some pinks and some blues. I don't know, I hope you can see it. I don't know if you can though. And this is hard to show. So I'll just explain you what it looks like by doing shapes around my body. So this is sort of a bat wing project. So the increases are in the arm here, and basically you increase every row. I did not swatch using these yarns. I just wanted to do a cover. I know it's going to be very blousy, so I just wasn't really worried about that. So I just cast on for the smallest size. But I'm going to have to put an elastic in there, I already know. And then I started, and I cast on with a different yarn, which I cannot remember what it is, but it's white and it's not stretchy. But I think I used a needle that was too big. So I'm gonna have to just put an elastic in there, and it's a circular cast on, tubular cast on. And then every 2 rows I switch from one yarn to the other and keep screwing until here. Then it separates toward the front and back to make the armholes, because you're always going like in a circular way around your body. Then you get here and you need to separate, so you do the whole front. Well, the whole front. You do the front until you reach the other side of the arm. Then you do the same thing for the back, and that's what I'm doing. I started on one of them and I'm done, and now I'm doing the other parts, front and back. And then you join in around again, and then you start tapering towards the waist. I don't think I will be using all of my yarn, but I think it might be close. We'll see. And I'll try to show you, but it's really hard to tell what's going on, because it's, even though it's on bigger needles, but there's just so much fabric, you know. But this is what it looks like. I think because of my slightly tan skin, the colors really pop, so I really like that. I made it helicopter. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can. I live pretty close to downtown Nashville, and there's a few hospitals around here, so we are definitely on the path for the helicopters. Okay, so what else? It does have short rows on the back, and that's where I could mostly tell the different shades of mohair colors. Though I don't know if you can on video, but I definitely can in person. Yeah, I think it's gonna be really cute. I made this again, as I was saying, for my trip to Portugal. As you know, in airports and airplanes, it's either too warm or too cold. Like, there's no in between, and you're either rushing or you're standing still. So you just have to keep putting on layers. So I thought this is a really, really light layer that I could have on if the AC is just too intense for me, and also easily take off. It could also be a good layer to wear at night, especially if it's breezy. So that's one of the things I wanted to wear on my trip. Now there's a few other projects I want to knit for my trip. My trip is in a month, so I might be able to finish one other project. I just don't know what will be done first, because I have not cast on either one of those. Okay, so then this is my not knitting project. It's cross stitching. I'll be really fast about it. I actually didn't even say what the pattern was for this. What could it be? Okay, it's cross stitch project called Coastal 4 by Anette Eriksson, and I really like this pattern. This is my first cross stitching pattern. It's sardines. I did one color for all three, and then that's what I'm doing. Instead of finishing a whole sardine, I'm doing it by colors. I started with the center one to mark the center of the piece, and then I moved on to the top one and then the bottom one. And then for the other colors, because I started with what I would consider the hardest sardine, the other colors I'm going to do the top, the bottom, and then the center before switching to a different color. Also, the center will have to be done probably in the morning when I can pay attention, because the stitches are not in big groups like the other two. They're not in very clear groups like the other two, so I really have to pay attention. Yep, and I think that's it. I've moved on to this light blue. It only has 2 more stripes up here, and then a few verticals here. Yeah, I'm liking it a lot. It makes for a good change, because between, you know, working that yarn in really hot weather, because I like to work here on the porch when the temperature is good enough. But it gets really hot in the afternoon, so it's nice to be able to switch to a different project instead of having to go inside, because I like the warmth of the summer, and I'll try to enjoy it as much as I can for as long as I can. Now I have 2 more yarns to show you, and then that's it, promise. This is Camilla's Fabric Company, all of these are, and it's the Peach Ranunculus. I was able to get one of the, like, I think it was the last batch she did. This is Sylvan Fingering, which is incredibly soft. It feels, and when I read the ingredients, you'll be able to tell it really sort of feels like a luxury yarn. But in terms of price difference, there's not a big difference from this yarn to her other yarns. Because they're all done in small batches. It is a small business. They're indie dyed. They're all just above $30, which I think $30 is pretty common for indie dyed 100 grams. So this is Sylvan Fingering. It is 70% alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere, which makes it incredibly soft. Now, the project I have in mind needs a yarn that is twice this thick. This is fingering, I need DK. So I got 2 fingerings, but this is the length that I need. So to make up for the width, I think I might mix it with a different yarn that I have upstairs. Or maybe I'll make the piece more airy. I don't know. We'll see. I think the piece has some cables in it, and maybe some bubbles or something. I can't remember by heart. But yeah, this is beautiful, beautiful color. She was making 2 different colors, the pink ranunculus and the peach ranunculus, and I think that this one, the peach and the pink, I think that besides what she has dyed, she might have some for trunk shows and yarn festivals and that sort of thing. So if you did not get it online, then if you go to one of those events, you could get it there. And then I ordered this other one from her. This is not the base she carries right now, but I'm going to test it out for her. But so far I can tell you that by looking at it, it is amazing, and just, it's so bright, it's so shiny, and it has that sort of like boucle curl. This is 70% grade A, which is the best grade of all 3 grades, A, B, and C. Mulberry silk. And then, and that's the same thing with wood, like in architecture, there's like different finishes for materials. Grade A is the best grade. So if you don't know that, now you know. And then 30% merino. And it is the most like beautiful, like cloudy. It sort of reminds me of the color of my nails, like this like light pink. I love it, I love it. Her pinks they don't go very well with my skin tone. I have like a greenish yellow undertone, so things that have a little more yellow in it without being actually yellow tend to look better on me. So that's why I immediately went for the peach versus the pink, because the pink doesn't have that yellow undertone. This is more like it's a peach color, it's a coral type color. Yeah, and I think that's it. And I am going to do a Murph challenge in 25 minutes, so I have to go. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think I might have maybe another episode in a month, although that will more or less coincide with my trip to Madeira, so we'll see. Might be a little later, maybe a little earlier. Yeah, and I will have this one done. I really want to start on this one today, so we'll see if I'm able to do that. I really, really want to. And I have two other t-shirts that I want to try. So it's a lot of projects to work on. It's a lot of projects. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you soon. And have a good Memorial Day if you're in the US. I don't know if other countries have their own version of it. Portugal doesn't. Yeah. Okay. Alright, yeah. Enjoy your summer. Bye.